Hi, welcome to my channel, Reader Woman. My name is Judy, and let's talk books. I would like to apologize for my hiatus, but I don't know, for the last 2 or 3 months I've been busy moving my small print shop home, and we're set up, but took over the garage for part of the equipment, and then the downstairs bedroom. It was my library before, and now it is my workspace office, so I had to move a lot of books out. I have a which in reality I don't have. I could fill it up right now with this bookcase, but I'm not going to keep it there where it's at, so I'm just storing it there for a moment before I rearrange things. So yeah, it's been hard. I haven't found a place that I feel comfortable, getting back on YouTube. But I decided, instead of waiting for the perfect time and place, that I would just do it now. So I've been really enjoying my reading life right now. And so I thought I'd discuss some of the books that I have been reading, and also a book haul that I had, a small book haul. So to start off with, I don't know if this will show up or not. Nope. Okay. Let me just say it. One of the books that I read was A Marriage in Dog Years by Nancy Balbur. And it was a nice memoir about a very difficult time in her life, where basically her marriage and her dog's life were both ending, and what that meant for her daughter, and how do you move forward. So being a dog owner myself, I was taken with it. I liked it. I thought that it might have been a little bit better. I mean, it wasn't the best memoir I've ever read. In fact, one of them, I can't remember the author's name, but it was called A Pack of Two. I loved that book. Unfortunately, my Custer asked to borrow it, and I've never seen it again, and I know she's gotten rid of it. But it was just one of those books that spoke to me so much. And so, yeah. But this was a nice memoir, very affecting. I would recommend it. The next book that I was reading, and this was for my book club, My Family and Other Animals, by Gerald Durrell. And it was as charming as the PBS specials have been. I got to also see the second season of the Durrells in Corfu. Yeah, I mean, bittersweet. But the scenery is so beautiful, and I thought that he particularly did a lovely job of describing, not just the animals, but also the land. I was a little uncomfortable with his English superiority, calling the locals peasants. That I didn't like so much. But from what I've heard, it's much better than his brother Lawrence when he wrote about Corfu. But, it just seemed like a magical time to be in a magical place, as the threat of war loomed over Europe. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I would have enjoyed it even if I hadn't seen the PBS special. But I guess there's been a movie and a few PBS shows on it. So, yeah, I highly recommend it. Very sweet, very, really brought to life what Corfu must have been like. This dusty, hot paradise of an arid land with the everything that was around it. The water, the mountains, all the fruit and everybody growing things, the olive trees. Yeah, it was really well done. Then, then I got into, because of buying this, which I'm so glad I bought. Seriously, so good. But I decided before starting with that, I would read Madeline Miller's The Song of Achilles. And I just instantly fell in love. I couldn't even put it down. I mean, I had to read it in like 2 days. It was just, there was no stopping me. It was fabulous. If you haven't read it, you need to read it. I mean, it's a story behind the story and also the story of the Iliad, which, since it's been around for thousands of years, I don't feel like I'm going to put any spoiler alerts in it. But, you know, I knew it was never going to be a happy ending. But she just did such a magnificent job of bringing Achilles to life for me. I read the Iliad in college, and I mean, literally, I just felt like Achilles was a spoiled brat. I could barely stand him, and she brought him to life for me in a way that I hadn't expected. It was very beautiful, very moving, and you know, I mean, of course, she was really drawing on the love of Achilles and Patroclus, which was beautiful. It really was. Very tender, very sweet for two young men who were heading off to war against Troy. I read some reviews of people who were crying at the end, and I was like, oh yeah, whatever. You know what's going to happen. You know, and it happened. So, spoiler alert, Patroclus dies, is killed by Hector, and then Achilles kills Hector, and is in turn slain himself. And while it was sad and beautifully done, I thought that the richness lay in the sense that she connected you to, not just to the Greek gods and goddesses and the whole hierarchy of, you know, who was born from whom, but she left Patroclus because it was the Greek tradition. He was not buried in the Greek traditional way, whereby he would be led down to Hades, across the river Styx. So he was there as a voice long after you thought he would have been gone, long after he was dead, and she just handled that very, very beautifully. And then and there he was, you know, left behind, Achilles gone ahead, and the ending, just those final few pages, is really the last thing with Achilles' mother, Thetis, and what she does. It just didn't bring me to tears. It caused me to sob. Literally sob. It was so beautifully written, and you felt the loss of Achilles, but, you know, it just, anyways, by the end, the very, very end, the final act by Achilles' mother, yes, I was devastated, just devastated. So I cannot recommend that book enough. And from there, then, I went and read Circe, which I thought was another very, very beautiful book. You know, she went from the Iliad to the Odyssey, but in a strange and unique way. I I really liked. I mean, Circe was an odd character for me. I have to say, I'm not completely convinced of her um, depiction of a demigod, whatever. Is that what she was? I think so, demigod. But oh, she was a Titan. Titan. Sorry. So the lower level below the Olympus gods, headed by Zeus. But I thought it was a strange, wondrous tale. And with Odysseus showing up. I thought that was amazing. I thought she did Odysseus service. She brought him to life in a way that I hadn't really comprehended him. I'd always had a soft spot in my heart for that. Simple farmer from Ithaca. But it rose above that. It showed him in all his light, his cunning. I mean, I forget the wonderful quote about how he was like a shell or a spiral, how, his mind would just keep going, and you couldn't follow him because he was weaving this spell around you with his words. And I thought it was very well done. Very well done. And so yeah, I do recommend it. I know for this one there would be a lot of spoiler alerts, because as far as I know, nobody ever wrote about her after she turned Odysseus's men into pigs. But yeah, I thought that was well done. Not as good as her first novel, but highly worth reading. Highly worth reading. So let's see here. Then, well, I've been following the Steve Donahue Iliadathon, and I was very happy to purchase, yes, Iliad by Homer, with the translation by Caroline Alexander. I'm enjoying it. I have not been able to keep up with him. My reading is not, it's sporadic. I mean, it's kind of all or nothing, and so I've got enough ways in it, but I'm not going to have it finished in time to get it done in the month of June. I guess I'm really bad at those kind of things. So yeah, but I do look forward to reading it. I had the Richard Latimer from college that I'd pulled out, so I'm going to look forward to, juxtaposing the two a little bit. But yeah, so I'm really happy to have my new version. I really am. And particularly by a woman. How exciting. Then that leads me to my little haul at Barnes & Noble on Sunday. I went in there wanting 2 books. One, which I got, Love and Ruin by Paula McLean. I am quite a ways through it. Really enjoying it. Really liking it a lot. I'm not a Hemingway fan, but yeah, it's a fascinating story. I've read Paula McLean's The Paris Wife, of course, and loved that. And also in another book club, I had read Movable Feast, which is so much fun to read. And then I read Paula McLean's, what was her other one on, let's see here, Circling the Sun, which I liked. I didn't completely agree with her interpretation of Beryl Markham, but I thought she did a good job. But I did not agree with all of what she had to say about Beryl Markham, or her character called Beryl Markham. I think there was more to be said. or a different view of it than of her that I have that I didn't think McLean had. But Love and Ruin, highly recommend it. Makes me want to go. I mean, I wish could go to Cuba, you know. Anyways, so while I was there, the other book I was going to get is the 50th anniversary of True Grit. They didn't have it. Can you believe that? They didn't have it. I mean, they didn't have it. So I didn't know what to do. I did not want to commit myself to buying it there because I could probably get a better bargain someplace else. So they were going to bring one in, though, and give me a call if it came in, if and when it came in. Great and fine. But then I went and I visited the sale aisles, and I happened to find a couple of books to add to my list here. One is one of my dirty little secrets. Charlene Harris, let's see, All the Little Liars. I really like her, Amelia? Oh, Aurora Teagarden. I just enjoyed this particular character. Yes, I've read her other things, but I thought this one was the funniest. So it was cheap, and I thought, why not? Why not? I need a nice little summer read, and which is why I got the next one, which is excuse me, by Ellen Hildebrand. Here's to Us. Sounded like a very interesting book by her. I enjoy her books. I don't always love them. Some I'm not that fond of. Let's see if I can yeah. I think it's Barefoot I really loved. But she wrote a novel not just about Nantucket, but a small island off Nantucket where a family owned a very, oh, excuse me here, I've got to take a moment. All right, I'm back. Hopefully no more coughs. But I do love how she knows and loves her island. It's a very specific place. It's a very specific lifestyle. Obviously a lot more money than I will ever have to maintain it. And it's just a fun summer read. Or not necessarily fun, but thought-provoking. I like some of her characters, and I like some of her plots. Not all of them, but anyways, I'm looking forward to this. This is a few years old. That's why it was in the sale thing. I think it's 2016. So, yeah, I hate to spend the big bucks for her, but nonetheless, I enjoy reading it. And my last, and definitely not my least, is T.C. Boyle, The Terranauts. He is a great joy for me. I so enjoy his fiction. I haven't read all of it, but I've read quite a bit, actually. I've read, I started off with The Road to Wellville, which I thought was hilarious. I so enjoyed that. And from there, I went and read San Miguel. I was lucky enough to get to meet him, and I have a signed copy. And he just takes stories and delves and delves and delves into them. They're not usually, I mean, I can't think of anything that has a happy ending, but so I read that one, and then I decided that I needed to, get a few more books by him. And I went and bought The Women. The Women. I mean, how would you even begin to know that was about Frank Lloyd Wright? But just a riveting novel. And then I also have read Riven Rock, another riveting. You know, it's that combination of true life being told in a fictional way that I know isn't unique to him, but I think that he delves deeper than most. And the difference between him and, let's say, the Paula McLean novel, Love and Ruin, she is definitely telling a novel. And sometimes with Boyle, you almost think it's journalism. You know, I don't know. He has this certain line that's just fascinating to me. So Riven Rock was very hard to read, but really good. And then I also have read The Harder They Come. I read that in digital form. And another tough one. I'm sure this will be the same, but I look forward to reading it. And so, yeah, that catches you up in my books that I'm reading right now and also looking forward to read. I hope everyone else is having a wonderful time reading your selections for June. And I can't wait to watch everybody's videos. Take care. Bye.